What is going on, guys? Carter here with Edged Mindset. As always, thank you for hanging out, participating, liking, commenting, subscribing, hitting the bell notification. I don't know if anyone's actually clicked on that bell. I have no idea. I hope at least maybe a couple people have. But if you haven't, that'd be cool if you did. But if you don't want to, I totally get it. We get enough noise. Phone's going off all the time. You don't need any more notifications. But I am grateful that you are here now, because we're going to be talking about the Padre. This is a brand new knife. Just kidding. This has been out for a long time. It's kind of the flagship knife of, I keep wanting to touch that blade, but it's going to make it nasty. It is the flagship blade or flagship knife, in my opinion, of Kunwu. Gosh, I don't know how to say it. I keep saying it different ways every single time, and it's going to annoy the crap out of you. Kunwu knives, really like them. I've got a whole video that I think I've put up talking about the top 5 reasons why Kunwu is an awesome company and you should check them out. Something along those lines. And I feature this kind of in that video, but I wanted to do another re-review because I bought this knife originally, maybe like a year ago, and I liked it. I can't say that I fell in love with it, and then I ended up selling it. And recently I rebought it, and not really my opinion has changed. My opinion has intensified. I really like this knife. In fact, it's one of my favorite kind of designs for overseas knives right now. Now, this came out years and years ago, and it was kind of, in my opinion, what put Kunwu in the minds of a lot of people, right? This was, it wasn't their first design, but it was kind of the first breakout design that really got people's attention. This also comes in a smaller size called the Kunwu Padre. In case this is too large. I haven't had a chance to check that one out. I do want to give it a shot, though, one of these days. So overall blade length, let's do some specs here, is about 3.5 inches. Total length is like, I don't know, 8 1/8, somewhere around there, 8 1/4, something along those lines. So that good medium-sized knife. Some people consider it large. Some people consider it medium. I think it's pretty dang big, but I think it's mainly because of how wide it is. So 5.3 ounces. It is not a lightweight knife. However, it is one of those knives where when you first pick it up, you expect it to be heavier than it is. So you pick it up and you're like, wow, that's not too bad. And that's because it's got lots of lightning holes inside here, titanium handles, beautiful milling. I don't know. I just really like this one. Let's go tip to, no, let's do size comparison. Size comparison, sorry guys. Django, here it is next to the Django. I've got a bunch of Kunwu knives kind of handy right here, so we'll do some, just some general Kunwu comparisons. Here it is next to the, what is this one? The Gringo. Next to the Gringo. I had a brain fart right there. I almost said Padre, and I'm like, no, this is Padre. So not too different. Handle to pivot are about the same. The Padre... No, Gringo blade is a little bit longer. So a little bit better handle to blade ratio there. Now we've got the Primo. Right next to the Primo there. Comparable. Once again, these are all kind of that medium sweet spot size that I personally really like. Let's do Paramilitary 2. One that maybe actually makes sense to do a comparison to. You can see fairly comparable. Also keep in mind, grain of salt. The way my camera is not completely straight down, so there is a little bit of, some optical illusions on these. I guess I should disclaimer that more often. Depending on what knife is on the bottom, it may look larger than it actually kind of is, as you can see there. Wow, wait a minute. That's like really bad. I'm just now figuring out that my size comparisons are completely bonkers. I had no idea it was this bad. My camera is barely at an angle. And yet you can see how, depending on the one on the bottom, like now that looks small. And up here, okay, well, so my size comparisons are stupid. And every single one of these is completely pointless because of the angle of my camera. Thanks, guys. Thanks for letting me know 100 and something videos down that me doing comparisons is completely pointless because whatever's on the bottom is going to look massively larger than the one on the top. Cool. Thanks, guys. Appreciate all those comments telling me about that. Just kidding. It's all me. It's all my fault. I got to figure that out. I got to do something different, I guess, because that's no good. So anyways, moving right along. we've got this beautiful wide blade. Look how tall that flat grind is. That goes all the way up to the butt cheeks. You know what I'm saying? Beautiful full flat grind right there. This particular version, Satin with DLC. They're famous for their DLC. It's tough as nails. There's lots of videos of people trying to scratch it. Very hard to do. So if you're trying to avoid scratches, go with the DLC Satin. If you're trying to avoid fingerprints, do not go with the DLC Satin because, yeah, gets nasty, boy, nasty. But you can get something like the Stonewash DLC, like on this bad boy right here, where you don't have to deal with as many fingerprints, at least. In this lighting, all fingerprints kind of point out there, like pretty crazy. Really beautiful tip. It's just a good all-around blade shape. Look at all of this belly. A lot of people think that this tip is really high because of this belly, but it's not. It's right in line with that pivot there. So it is not a high tip. You can get down here and do some nice detail cutting with that tip. Beautiful like clip type thing going on here, kind of like a clip point, drop point, super belly, gator belly knife or something. Nice wedges up here that kind of connect onto this point. You've got a cool opening hole that's very, very functional. One of the more functional opening holes, honestly, that I've experienced. Like you really get your thumb or your forefinger just right in there. And whether you're using your thumb or your index finger, it works so well. And then it's got some cool pattern milling in there. It's hard to make a hole seem unique. Do not turn that into a joke. Please don't do that. Nice thick blade stock. You got jimping on the back here with a little bit of a thumb ramp. Really nice. You've got a huge finger choil right there with a plunge line that's plenty far away from that edge. You've got full titanium handles with milling that not only looks cool, but it's very functional, adds a lot of grip. You've got Damascus or Mokutai pivot collars, and then you've got the Green Lantern style pivot right there. Lock bar insert, all the normal stuff. It's running on bearings. What I will say is the action on this one, and I can't speak for everyone that's ever existed, but it's got this particular one, and maybe all of them, has quite a bit of lock bar tension, a lot of power behind it. And so it doesn't come across as being on bearings. And I mean that in a good way. Because I know some people don't like bearings because it just feels too loosey, right? The blade just kind of floats down and it doesn't give you that kind of strong feeling, right? And it doesn't seem smooth. It seems like the pivot's too loose. That is not how this one feels. This one feels more like it's running on very worn in and smooth washers with a strong, crisp detent. That's what this feels like. And I really, really like it. The detent is just very nice. You can see how it sucks. And I'm kind of a detent guy. Like, you know how guys like women, what are you attracted to physically? I'm a this guy, I'm a that guy. With knives, I'm a bit of a detent guy. I absolutely hate detent lash. I like a really nice, crisp detent that isn't so strong that it's painful to open. And it's just one of those things that, I don't know. I've always kind of been that way. One of the reasons I like Striders, which I don't have one around here, is that they've got that really nice tactile detent to them. And this has a very similar type feel to it, if I'm being honest. Beautiful handle shape, classic, like banana. Like you see a handle shape like this, you know it's at least going to be decent in the hand. And this feels amazing. You've got all these chamfering all the way around it. Feels really, really good. Here's how it fits in my hand. I am a little worried about going to the Compadre just because, I don't know. I guess if I really kind of squeeze up on that choil, I do have quite a bit sticking out of the back here. But I am worried that the smaller version is going to be a little small. But I don't know. Won't know until I try it for sure, which hopefully I'll be able to do soon. Opening chasm. Opening, like it's double chamfered on both sides. Easy to get into. Absolutely love it. Something like this guy here, not quite as much. I wish this had more chamfering in here. You can see what I mean. Well, I guess if I actually compare, you can see how there's just more space on the Padre to get in there than on the Gringo here. That's another thing that I like. detents, and then also having plenty of room to unlock the knife. I hate it when it feels like I'm just barely getting in there with like the callus on my thumb. It just, I don't know. I just don't like it as much. Lanyard hole right here, reversible titanium pocket clip. This can flip around to this side with these screws right here. Works very, very well. It looks okay. It's not the prettiest pocket clip I've ever seen, but it works, and it is very functional. You can get that right into your pockets there. Got a nice gear pattern backspacer, of course, titanium, blackened right there. Really, really nice. Here's a detail for you. Where the backspacer is, right there, you can see how it's completely flush, so it looks nice and clean. And then we start getting a little bit of a chamfer all the way up here. Just a nice little detail of a slight little chamfer so that it's not sharp, but they kept it completely flush right here so that it didn't look weird carrying a chamfer all the way around where it's not needed. So just a nice little detail. And these knives are full of that kind of stuff where they really thought through all of the things to make just a nice pocket knife. Did I mention how thin it is behind the edge? It is like perfectly thin behind the edge. It is not let's see here, like this chaser here from Devo Knives. I mean, this sucker is thin, right? This is meant for super slicey, but this one is thin, but not nearly as extreme as that. So this can handle some use, right? This is going to, especially with that VANAX, this is going to handle some use. You don't have to worry about it chipping as long as you're not doing something stupid or having any sort of damage to it, but it is still going to slice very, very nice. I think that's it. And it's a little wide. So when you're talking about pocket carry, it's definitely a little bit wide. You can see it's about as wide as a paramilitary 2. But of course the paramilitary 2 tapers more, whereas this one's kind of more consistent with the wideness. But you get the benefit of this huge belly and this really long, full flat ground blade. So, you can't have both things, right? There's no way to fit this kind of blade into a handle where it's not going to be on the wider side. But there it is, guys. Re-review of the Padre. This comes in different configurations. You've got the tucks here. I think there was a special dealer exclusive that was all DLC. You've got the all stonewash, and then I think you've got basically this handle with just a regular non-DLC satin blade. So lots of options. And I think there's some really pimped out versions too you can get with Mokutai and polished blades and stuff. So, all right, guys, comment down below. What do you think of the Padre? Do you have one? Are you thinking about getting one? Did this video get you to spend more of your hard-earned money? If so, I apologize. That was not my intention, or maybe it was. I don't know. All right, guys, talk to you later. I'm out.